Hey guys and girls, and welcome back to my channel. Obviously for the Raw review for July 23rd, 2012. I know it took place 2 days ago, and today is Wednesday, and normally my review is up early morning Tuesday, but I wasn't able to do it yesterday because I didn't get the chance to watch Raw while it was live, so I actually watched it yes yesterday. I know it's 3:16 a.m. so I'm kind of still losing track of the days. So I watched it yesterday. I got the gist of what happened. I didn't get to see. I watched it on the WWE channel on YouTube. I was able to watch it on there because I missed it. Well, I didn't miss it. I couldn't really watch it. So the videos that was on there, I was able to. These are all my notes from the show, from watching it. Normally, if you watch my previous reviews, you know that I normally take down my notes on white pieces of paper, but since then I'm using these smaller blue sheets of paper for some reason. I don't know, I have a whole stack of them. So once these gone, I may go back to the white paper. No, just a side note. So if any of the stuff that I say isn't in order, I try to write it down in order, but it was the way that they had it on the WWE YouTube channel, so that was the way I watched it. So hopefully everything is in order. Hopefully this video isn't too long because people have a short attention span. I remember the last time Raw did a 3-hour show, my review was 45 minutes long, and half the people that normally watch my videos didn't watch it. So since then I tried to keep my videos under 30 minutes. Hopefully I don't ramble on too much to the point where nobody will watch this. Like I said, I'm about to start. It's 3:18 a.m. Then after this, going to sleep, and I'll get ready to do my Superstars review and my TNA review tomorrow for my TNA fans. So you have to bear with me. I'm getting to the wrestling talk. None of this isn't in any particular order, so you have to bear with me. Vince McMahon opens this show. He thanks WWE for the WWE Universe for keeping Raw alive for 1,000 episodes. I think Raw started in 1993, the year I was born. So it's been around for 19 years. That's a long time for a show. It really is. 1,000 episodes, which means it'll probably take another 19 episodes till we get to 2,000. By then I'll probably be almost 40 years old. Oh man. Then to get to 3,000, I'll probably be almost 60. And if I hopefully live to see the 4,000 episodes, I'll be 80. Oh man. But I miss the old days, but you know, I always had the memories. I'm already 4 minutes in and I haven't said anything. Okay. Vince McMahon thanks the WWE Universe for basically allowing Raw to reach 1,000 episodes. Not too many shows that they get canceled or they're off the air. And this was a good match, our first official match. Sheamus, it was a 6-man tag. Sheamus, Mysterio, and Sin Cara versus Del Rio, Ziggler, and Jericho. That's an awesome match. Like I said in all my reviews, go back and watch my reviews on my channel. Go back. Sin Cara versus Rey Mysterio. That's a WrestleMania type match right there. Like no limits, no scripts. Just let them go in there and do whatever they want. Rey Mysterio is good, but Sin Cara has an edge over Rey Mysterio because Rey Mysterio is getting older. He still can move quickly around the ring, but he's gotten older. But Sin Cara is younger, but some of his moves. Sin Cara is younger and Rey has more experience. I guess you would put it like that. But it was a good match. Very good match to open the show. This probably was the best Raw I've ever seen, and I probably said that before in my reviews, but this was the best Raw I've ever seen. Now, I hope next week they don't go downhill, because next week we won't have The Rock and Brock Lesnar and DX and Lita and all other people there to hope the show. So without those people, how are they going to feel? There will be no Charlie Sheen or nothing. So how are we going to do that? I hope Raw doesn't go downhill. Like, I hope the show will stay at the same pace, because this was a good show. I know I get some spoiler alerts, but my review is 2 days late, so obviously you already know what's there, so it kind of isn't a spoiler. But if you haven't seen Raw, you didn't watch Raw, then I kind of spoiled it a little bit. During the match, it was crazy because Ziggler hits Jericho. During the match, they have a feud going on, kinda. Excuse me. Like, sorry for. I'm tired. It's 3:22 a.m. And then Sheamus was able to win the match with a bro kick. It was a good match. But you know what? Sin Cara and Mysterio, they could be a good tag team. They can give R-Truth and Kofi Kingston a good run for their money. That was a good match. I like how everyone had the red, white, and blue theme going on. And then after that, Charlie Sheen talks via Skype. He's talking with Michael Cole and everybody. And then they showed a video backstage with AJ. She was talking with Layla. Basically, AJ says that she isn't the only crazy person on Raw. She tells Layla to open up the door, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan was out there in the hallway. Then she kind of closes it, and Roddy Piper was in the hallway with R-Truth looking for little Jimmy. Close the door, open it again. Mae Young is out there with her son. I didn't even know Mae Young had a son. And then I don't know why this is a match. Buzz Clay changed his singlet to red, white, and blue, like I said. And then Dude Love, one of it's 3 a.m. So Dude Love, one of Mick Foley. Dude Love, one of Mick Foley's personalities. He also has Cactus Jack. He came out as Dude Love during the match. He went against Jack Swagger, which was only a minute. It was legitimately 1 minute. I timed it. It was a minute. Like, you did all the dancing just to pin Swagger in a minute. Then that was in. Then the video cuts backstage. There was a yoga session with Trish Stratus that Triple H was having. And DX kind of comes in and they kind of spoil it from. They kind of mess it up. And then after that, this is kind of the part where my notes may mess up a little bit. Okay. Basically, the wedding of AJ, which was one of the main events of the Raw, because they kept promoting it throughout the week. besides Lesnar and The Rock. AJ, you know, they had the wedding and everything. I set my Raw predictions video. Check out my Raw predictions video on my channel and see if it matched what happened on Raw. But I want to say 50% right. You have to check it out because I don't know. I don't know. The whole wedding setup. Dan Bryan had an all white on tux. AJ came down her dress. The whole thing was set up real nice. The Reverend was actually Slick. His name was Slick. Yeah, just Slick. He was the first African American manager in the WWE. And I wanted to say I like the new stage. I don't know if that's a new stage, but it was a nice stage that they had it for the 1,000th episode. I like the stage that they had. That's just a side note. So they, you know, they're getting out there. He's reading whatever he's supposed to be reading. Then he's about to put the ring on there, and she says, "Yes, yes, yes," but it wasn't to him. She said it was to another man. And I'm thinking this is the time where Kane comes out, but no. It turns out that she accepted Vince McMahon's offer, and now AJ will be the new general manager of Raw. Which I don't agree with. Edge should be the general manager of Raw, or Vicky, or Teddy Long. Why are they taking away divas away from the divas division when we don't really have that many divas to begin with? They took Eve out of wrestling, and she was Lord Nice's sidekick. Now they're taking AJ away, and now she's going to become the general manager of Raw. Who knows how long that lasts? I just don't like it. I mean, Edge will be a good general manager of Raw. It would keep him, like, he likes wrestling, so it would keep him relevant during the show. Teddy Long or Vicky. I mean, I don't know. AJ is popular, but how long is that going to last? Maybe 1 or 2 months before they find a new general manager? Basically, she doesn't get married to Damian Bryan at all. Like, she throws the flowers in his face and just skips up the ramp like nothing happened at all. So the whole time while Damian Bryan was trying to use AJ, she was actually using him. And then there came a point where CM Punk came out to the ring. With Damian Bryan. And then The Rock comes out. You know when The Rock comes out, he has to make a big entrance because he's The Rock. And it wouldn't be him if he didn't steal the show. Which he did. And basically he announces that at the Royal Rumble this January 2013, he will fight whoever the WWE champion is. So whether it will be John Cena or CM Punk, he will fight whoever the WWE champion is. And I think it will be CM Punk. I know that'll be a good match because The Rock already faced John Cena. Even though the match at WrestleMania, it wasn't long enough to me. It was just too scripted. I just want to see The Rock and John Cena go at it. No script, no boundaries. But I think at the Royal Rumble, The Rock will face CM Punk. He will. I know that's kind of early to say because January is a couple months away. But CM Punk may lose the belt, but he probably will gain it back by the time the Royal Rumble comes back around. And The Rock will face CM Punk. Now, whether The Rock will win, hopefully he does, because if The Rock wins, that means The Rock will be on Raw. And if The Rock is on Raw, the ratings through the roof. Is The Rock making a comeback? He's been good in the movie industry. He's been very good with the movies. but is he going to make a comeback to the WWE? It'd be nice for him to come back for a year, like 6 months to a year. Because I know wrestling, being on the road, and it takes a toll on your body. So I understand that. But if he wins the belt, obviously he's going to be there for a couple months. I at least like to see him there for 6 months, a year at the most. I say if he does come back, he probably won't do more than a year. He'll be there for a year, then he'll just hang his boots up for good. But he rock bottom Stan Braun, which was he basically says, I have a wedding gift for you, even though you didn't get married. The rock bottom gives him the rock bottom and walks out right past CM Punk, walks up the ramp. CM Punk looks at him, and that was just it. Now Regis from Live in Cali, if you watch that show, comes on early in the morning. He congratulates WWE for reaching 1,000 episodes. And during the show, Michael Cole interviewed the 100th million social networker, Alex Guerrero Jr. I don't know, it's combined with Facebook, Twitter, and everything. He was the 100th million social networker, so he got free tickets to the show. And then Dame Bryan interrupts Sean Mooney. It says that he will fight Charlie Sheen. I numbered this kind of wrong. Yeah. And before that, I also forgot to mention that DX reunited. They had X-Pac. I wrote their names now, because I don't really know all their names. This is where it took over. X-Pac, Billy Gunn, Michaels, Triple H. It was good that DX came out. And for some reason, Damian Sandow thought it was a good reason to come out and interrupt them. Who is Damian Sandow? Why is he under contract? He's like a fake Chris Masters. His whole interest in everything. And basically, he gets Sweet Chin Music by Shawn Michaels. Which, it was a kind of a delayed reaction almost. Because he just stood there like he hadn't been kicked. Like the kick didn't affect him at all. Then he was pedigreed by Triple H, who had to take the spot. Like, he took like 2 minutes to give him the pedigree. He's just... Triple H is just... I don't know if I like him. I said that before. I don't know if I like him. I liked him before he became the COO. Now it's just like... I still like him. He's a good wrestler. I wouldn't say he's the best wrestler. He's a good wrestler, but I liked him before he became COO. Did you really have to take 2 minutes to pedigree the guy, to stand there and bask in your glory, and then pedigree the guy? Come on. That was just too much. And then the Intercontinental Champion. There's an Intercontinental Championship. And they had a special guest ring announcer, Bret The Hitman Hart. They brought out all the WWE legends. I wish Stone Cold would have been there. If Stone Cold would have been there, oh wow. They should have had him there. Well, they should have brought back Hulk Hogan, even though he's injured during TNA. But Stone Cold, they had everybody there. I'm not trying to spoil anything, but okay. Okay, then it was just so much information. So it was Christian versus The Miz. Christian has had the belt for about 2 months. like when he first returned, he got the belt. But the Miz won. For the past couple months, the Miz hasn't really been having no attention. But he won the Intercontinental Championship, which means he's finally getting a push by WWE. So let's see how far that goes. And Christian kind of tricked his knee during that. Christian, he was just injured. He just came back from injury. Now, if he's injured again, he'll be like Del Rio, who kind of gets injured a lot. Christian doesn't get injured a lot, but he has frequent injuries. Then Fozzie Bear from the Muppets, he does a Raw recap. And then Cena and The Rock, along with Zack Ryder, were backstage. He basically says the same thing to CM Punk. He told CM Punk good luck. He told John Cena CM Punk good luck. I think he will face CM Punk at the Royal Rumble instead of Cena. Because Cena's been in the spotlight too long. It's time to give somebody else a chance. And they're just promoting the Royal Rumble. They want everyone to watch the Royal Rumble. Which they should be promoting SummerSlam, since that's about to come up, but they're promoting the Royal Rumble already. And Charlie Sheen via Skype makes a challenge to Dan Bryan. Says whenever he's in LA, whether it's at his house or at a ring, he will face Dan Bryan. And I'm not sure, but I think SummerSlam is in LA, to my knowledge. Which means that at SummerSlam, we could have Charlie Sheen versus Dan Bryan. That would be a good match. Then they had a fantasy match on WWE 13. And you got the vote, and it comes out October the 30th this year. You can pre-order your copies. And it was Stone Cold versus John Cena. Now, if that match would have happened in real life, that would be a good match. You think John Cena versus The Rock was good? Imagine if Stone Cold was in the ring. No, I'm not talking about this old Stone Cold. I'm talking about Stone Cold from 2000, 2001. That's Stone Cold versus John Cena now. Stone Cold's gotten older now, so I don't think he will still have the same abilities. And The Rock is in better shape, I would say, that Stone Cold is now. He can still do the stunner, but can he really get in the ring and wrestle? To the same capabilities? I don't think so. The Rock is in great shape because he does all these action movies. But it was, and they had it to where John Cena won the match. It was a video game, but back in the old days, Stone Cold, he probably still can, I don't know, beat John Cena. So that would be a good match to see. And then after that, Triple H has to hog up the spotlight again. He's out there with DX. He was backstage with Trish Stratus. He has to come out again with Paul Heyman 3 times during the show to hog all the spotlight. And at first, Paul Heyman didn't accept Triple H challenge. I'm not sure why Brock Lesnar didn't come out and do it himself. But then Triple H finally gets Paul Heyman to accept his challenge. Excuse me. It's almost 3:40 a.m. And Paul Heyman was talking about Triple H's kids and everything, which is kind of personal, but not so personal. And then Stephanie McMahon comes out, which is good. It was good to see Stephanie. The last time I saw Stephanie McMahon is when Triple H and Randy Orton were fighting during 2009. And Randy Orton kissed Stephanie McMahon, and that's when Triple H went and destroyed Randy Orton's house. That was the last time I saw Stephanie. I haven't seen Shane McMahon since 2009 either. So if Stephanie made a comeback, Shane can definitely make one. Stephanie McMahon comes back, and she slaps Paul Heyman, and then after that she attacks him on the ground and just beats him up. And then Lesnar comes out. And you can tell it all was scripted, because Lesnar was beating up Triple H. I mean, I think he forgets that WWE isn't the UFC. But he's beating up Triple H. Then Triple H had a little comeback, but he was beating him up. But you could tell Brock Lesnar let Triple H get the hits in. Brock Lesnar could have destroyed Triple H right there if he wanted to, but it was the script, and Triple H couldn't get beat up in front of his wife. But Brock Lesnar had the upper hand. He was. Do you think really that Triple H could knock Brock Lesnar out of the ring like that? I don't care how strong or big he is. It just wouldn't happen. It was scripted. You can tell. Brock Lesnar was beating out Triple H. He really was. But Brock Lesnar had to let Triple H get some hits in. Just like Brock Lesnar destroyed John Cena. The problem is, I don't think he realizes this is wrestling and not UFC. But when he gets in the ring, he's a beast. This is almost 30 minutes long. Trying to keep it short. But it was totally scripted. Brock Lesnar could have destroyed Triple H on live television, but he didn't. And also, this Friday Night Smackdown, look out for my Smackdown review. There will be a #1 contender match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Someone who will face Sheamus, and then face Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then later, there was the guest WWE legend that came out to face Heath Slater. It was a no disqualification match, and of course Lita won, but she had a little help from the APA, from Ron Simmons and JBL, who hasn't been there in over 5 years. It was good to see the APA back. I mean, that's old school. That's like 2001 right there. 2001, 2002 right there. Then after that, all the legends that Heath Slater faced over the past 3 months came out at the end of the match. And they got to do their, someone got to do their finishers on Rikishi, Roddy Piper, Road Warrior, Vader, everybody came out, and it was a good time. It was good to see all the WWE legends in the ring. And then Kane was in the ring. He's about to do his pyro blast when Jinder Mahal, Hunico, Camacho, and 4 other people were in the ring. They were about to basically ambush Kane. Not ambush, but attack him, because he saw the attack coming, so it's not an ambush. And then the Undertaker returns out of nowhere. The best part ever. Undertaker is my favorite wrestler. #1 favorite wrestler. Second is Jeff Hardy. The Undertaker returns. And it was good to see the Brother of Destructions in the ring. But the Undertaker, he looks old. Like, I don't know if it's the haircut, but his body looked like it has lost some muscle mass. He looks old. Like, before, he didn't look that old. But his body, like, maybe he got skinnier and he lost some muscle. Or maybe it's the haircut, but he just looks old. I still like The Undertaker. The Undertaker is still my favorite wrestler, so. He kind of looked old, though, to me. Maybe because he slimmed down a little bit. But it was good to see The Undertaker back in the ring. But it was just a little awkwardness. Like, they both were just standing there. Like, like, did they forget what they were supposed to do? Did they forget the script? They were just standing there for like 2 minutes. Then they rolled them out the ring. Then The Undertaker does the, you know, the kneel down on one knee, like they used to do back in 2001. The Brothers of Destruction. Kane does the fire blast. The thing goes off, but it was a little bit of awkwardness in it. Did they forget what they were supposed to do? Or was that supposed to happen? Almost 30 minutes. I hope this is 45 minutes long. So it was kind of awkwardness. But it was good to see The Undertaker back. That gave it 10 stars right there. They both were able to deliver a double choke slam and a double tombstone power driver. And then after that, we had Cena versus Punk. It was about 7 minutes long. But like I said in my Raw predictions video, watch my Raw predictions video on my channel. I said Somehow, I said CM Punk was going to win, but I said if CM Punk doesn't win, somebody's going to interfere. And I said in my Raw predictions video on my channel, if the Big Show didn't come out throughout the whole show, that he's going to interfere during the match, because he did the same thing with Smackdown. And my Raw predictions, watch my Raw predictions video, it came true. The Big Show came running out, and he knocked both of them out. And then The Rock comes out, which is good. The Rock kind of saved the show. He basically lays the Big Show out. He's getting ready to go for the people's elbow when CM Punk knocks him down, which makes me believe that he will face CM Punk at the Royal Rumble. And then after that, I'm trying to remember. CM Punk, unless CM Punk does the go to sleep on The Rock. Big Show is knocked out. John Cena is knocked out. CM Punk does the go to sleep and walks up the ramp, and everyone is booing, like they almost like they did when he walked away from the company, like he held the company hostage a year ago with the WWE belt. That's when he had two champions. John Cena had a belt and CM Punk had a belt. It was almost the same thing going on, but a different situation. But he did the go to sleep, lead The Rock out. The show ended like that. I give the show out of a 10. Give the show a 20. It was a good show. Good wrestlers. It was a good storyline for the show. Everything was good. One thing was missing was Stone Cold. It was a great Raw. Best Raw I've ever seen. Ever. Really. Didn't mean for my Raw review to be so long. 30 minutes. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna keep it short. If you like the video, you can like it. If you dislike the video, you can dislike it. Leave a comment. I will respond within 24 hours. Check out my channel. Check out my Raw predictions video. If you missed Smackdown, check out my Smackdown review. Check out my Superstars review. And if you're a TNA fan, check out my TNA review. Today's Wednesday, so tomorrow I will do a TNA review and Superstars review, and Friday I will do a Smackdown review, and during the weekend I'll do a Raw predictions video, and next Tuesday I'll do a Raw review again. So basically you have to check out all my channels if you want to catch up on all the latest wrestling information, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, obviously, if you want to keep seeing my amazing videos.